a lot of different stuff. So we had a we had a Latinos in clinical research, actually a couple of calls. We had a practice call for like kind of a big conference we're doing next week with Greenfire. Shout out to Greenfire. They just followed me on LinkedIn, so everybody go check them out. Instagram. Let me see the hearts. Let me see the comments. What do you guys want to hear? What do you guys have going on right now? How is your day going? And then Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. Okay, so a lot of talk around opportunities, mindset. Really, it's like where the rubber meets the road um, at the site level. Thank you, Mandy. YouTube can hear and see. Make sure you give it some likes, some thumbs up, and make sure, thank you for the comment, and then make sure you share. Greetings from Japan. How's it going all the way from Japan? Where are you guys watching? PT Scrub, how's it going? Javi, how's it going? Sheriff, Yuma County Sheriff in the house. What do study startup managers do on a day-to-day basis? Ah, perfect. So, study startup managers. I mean, we're going to talk about mindset in between questions. But I'll get to what study startup managers do, but let's get back to the analogy really quick. The research site level is really where the rubber meets the road. So the way I like to think of it is like, I don't know, this came to me in a dream or something, but sponsors are like the car. You know, you design a car, there's all different kinds of cars, there's different components to the car, there's the wheel. Maybe the wheel is like a study startup manager in this case. And then you have the road, which is like the sites and the CROs maybe. And then you have the patients that sit in the car and they're going to get taken to a destination. So really, like you have people designing cars, all this stuff, all the component specialists, like this person just does the radio, this person does the wheels, this person does the engine. And then on the road too, you have this person's mapping out where the road's going, all the signs, exits, rest areas. All the action boils down to the research site level because that's literally where the rubber meets the road. That's where all the action happens. So all this built up energy and built up resource and built up brain power from the car and the road, they come together right there where the rubber meets the road, that old cliche. I think that's the way, I think that's an analogy that I've been using in clinical research. Don't know if it makes any sense to anybody out there. Let me know if it makes any sense to you. But back to study startup manager. So in this case, they would be like the people designing the wheel for the car. And what are they doing? They're making sure that the sites are ready or doing the startup regulatory documents. So what's the startup regulatory documents? It's all the essential documents, and it's the IRB questionnaire to get IRB approval for the sites. It's collecting the financial disclosure forms. It's collecting the 1572. It's collecting the informed consent template language. It's collecting the delegation log. It's collecting the CVs, GCP, medical license of the staff. Those are the startup documents. The contract and budget as well is part of that. That's study startup, leading up to study initiation. By SIV, site initiation visit, you really want to have the startup regulatory documents completed, all of them, but especially the IRB approval. And you want to make sure that you have the essential documents done, like financial disclosure, 1572, CVs, GCPs, licenses, etc. Thank you, Dr. Subrina. Very good concept. Thank you. It came to me um, in a dream, I think. Mahalia, how's it going? Denise fired up. How's it going? So keep the questions coming on the Instagram. During the LICR, Latinos in Clinical Research. Greetings from New Orleans. Greetings from Charlotte, North Carolina. We got Agustina from Charlotte. My brother, shout out to Charlotte. My brother's out there. UNC Charlotte. He coaches the men's basketball team there. Uh, Very good concept. Thank you. All the way from Japan. So let me know in Instagram what kind of questions you guys have going on. So mindset is important. And we just talked about the site level, right? Like all this stuff. People have all these ideas, these centralized trials. How do we get more diversity in research? All these ideas just are abstract. They come out of like different places for different reasons. A lot of them good intentions. If it doesn't work where the rubber meets the road, it's not going to work. And that's a very important point to keep in mind. And in addition to that, there's a lot of problems that go into having a smooth study, having a smooth patient journey for the patient, having a smooth startup uh, startup portion of the study for the sponsor, throughout the study, after the study gets started, uh, having a smooth study enrollment, diversity, all these things are important. All these problems are opportunities for you to solve, and opportunity lies where responsibility has been abdicated. I learned that from Jordan Peterson's latest book. Let me tell you, responsibility's been abdicated in a lot of places in our industry. And yeah, it's easy to complain and say, oh, this is such a bad thing. I wish it was different. It's a whole nother thing to take it upon yourself to try to make a difference, at least for what is this thing on my hand? Try to make a difference, at least for your situation. Even if you're making a difference for one site, you are contributing to furthering the cause, furthering the improvements in clinical research. So it takes a special person to do that. Not everybody thinks that way. People think, especially career-minded people. Entrepreneurs kind of get it a little bit more, I think. But like thinking about solving problems and doing everything that is required and beyond to achieve an outcome is something that every individual who wants to grow in this space needs to start thinking about. Period. That's where you get all the opportunities. So at the site level, I did a video this morning on BizDev for sites and why sites need BizDev and why sites can't ignore BizDev and why sites need to constantly 24/7, 365 focus on BizDev. Somebody has to either do it at the site level or you have to outsource it to a company like ours for only $1,300 a month. Shameless plug. Text me if you're interested. 949-415-6056. What up, Gabby Marinello? What up, Naomi? Hope everything's going well with you guys in the CRC and CRA academies, respectively. Let me know what's going on. Um, what are the specific skills and trainings for project management? So I'll get to that right now. But BizDev for the sites. Sites need to do this. No, all sizes of sites, all levels, from startup to experienced, right? The experienced sites could be a little more picky, and that's okay. But what I often see happening is the experienced sites rest on their laurels, and then all of a sudden they need a study because the study ends early or they got a study that they haven't been able to enroll, and all of a sudden they need more biz dev and they wish they didn't ignore their biz dev because even the experienced sites, they can't just get a study like that. You need to cultivate these studies. This is like a long process to bring in a study. It's about 3 months just to get like a SSV, site selection visit. Probably another 3 months to actually get enrolled or starting to get enrolled. That's 6 months already. That's 6 months of lost revenue. If you're doing BizDev 24/7, 365, you're never really going to be in that situation because you're always going to have options. And what do I always say? He or she who has more options is going to be better off for it. I think that's self evident. That should be self evident, at least. So, what's to say about that? Why would a job seeker care about that? About biz dev for sites? You might be out there saying, hey, I want to work for a site. I'm a foreign trained doctor. I have no experience in clinical research, but I'm a foreign trained physician from another country, and I want to be a CRA. And you're telling me the best places to get started at the site level. Well, You can tell the sites in your area. I watch this guy on YouTube. He tells me how important business development is. I know how to go on clinicaltrials.gov and email people on your behalf. I will do that as many hours as you can. That's where you have to figure out how much time can you dedicate to this. I'll do it for free, or you guys can just pay me when you get the study. In exchange, I want experience. I want experience on my resume. So I want to be able to have some kind of role at your site, even if it's just as an intern. I just want to get started at the site level because I know this is where all the action happens. This is where the patients are seen. This is where all the ideas from the big think tanks get implemented. It happens at the site level. All the magic, all the action, it all happens at the site level. So this is why it's the best place to get started, in my opinion. I've been sitting down and my Fitbit tells me nicely done. I got 250 steps. Probably moving my hands too much. So the site level. And so this is where a lot of the responsibility has been abdicated, and this is where you can come in as a job seeker, reach out to sites and say, I will do this for you. I want to get started. And you know what's going to happen? Anybody, first of all, anybody who thinks that way, most sites are going to recognize this is a valuable potential employee. So they're just going to probably, especially in an environment like this one, hire you, or at least eventually hire you. Maybe they'll have you start working out for free initially. So that's what I'm talking about mindset, doing what other people don't want to do. So when you lack experience, I had a quote on my Instagram today, actually. Um, I said, experience is temporary, uh, attitude is permanent. And really, you can make it say lack of experience is temporary, a lack of attitude is permanent, but I didn't want it to be negative, so I made it like a positive. Uh, but what does that mean? That means that attitude, mindset is more important than experience. The experience, look, you can have a coordinator with a bad attitude that has 2 years of experience, and somebody who wants to be a coordinator with 0 years of experience but a great attitude. Guess what? In 2 years, the coordinator with the great attitude is going to know just as much as the coordinator who now has 4 years of experience but still has a bad attitude. But the knowledge gap is not much different. So, really, this 2 years plus a great attitude is way better than 4 years and a bad attitude. Matter of fact, at that point, might be a liability for that person, right? So, this is what I mean by experience is temporary and attitude is permanent. Um, I mean, do what other people are not willing to do. Outcompete. If you don't have experience, outcompete at effort, outcompete at creativeness, outcompete at different ways to tackle problems, outcompete figuring out how to help sites. That's really what you got to do. Everybody's trying to go at Harvard or IQVIA or Stanford to do research. You need to go to your mom and pop research clinic. I almost said shop. They're not shops. Mom and pop research clinic. Let's see what the comments are. 2 minute school. Oh my gosh. The greatest comments, the shortest, most compact, but greatest comments ever. When there's a lot to tell, it's better to shut up. Hope all is fine. Are decentralized a good study for the first site study? Yeah. I mean, it's just getting experience under your belt. Decentralized trials are here to stay. They are not going to take away from the study opportunities that sites have, traditional study opportunities. They're here to stay. They're going to be in a different category. It's not going to be for all sites. Virtual trials, too. It's in the same category. Let's get those hearts. Let's see those hearts going on Instagram. Let's see what else. What other questions we have here? Carla from Keeping It Real in Clinical Research on Monday nights. I just talked about this, and we talk about Carla and Marjorie from Topaz talk about this on Keeping It Real in Clinical Research on Clubhouse. BizDev. I know a huge site that slowed down on doing BizDev, and all of a sudden, the studies were ending and they had no trial starting up. And you know what? Take it a step further. Those big sites have big overheads. They have a lot of staff that they got to feed. Staff got to eat, right? They got to eat that payroll every 2 weeks. And if you run out of revenue, guess what? Some people are going to have to get let go. And then guess who's not going to get let go? Is the one with the good attitude and the generalist, because they can do more. A site like that, you need to educate them if you're trying to break in. Hey, do you have a biz dev person? I'll do it for free. I just want, in exchange, I want to be able to get some experience on my resume. So thank you, Carla. I know this stuff happens all the time. Business development is so important. Mindset, crucial. Shafak just tried this, Dan. Amazing, and was offered a potential position instead. Shafak at a local site. Shafak, can I send you this link? Okay, this is for Shafak or anyone else who wants to click it, but I'm only going to put Shafak right now. Join me live. If you don't want to be video, it's fine. If you don't want to do it now, we can set up a separate podcast, but let's just do a preview. If you want, click it, click this link and come on and let's talk. If you video or not video, I don't care. This is an amazing story. So you just tried this at a site and you were offered a position. I know. Why do I know this? Because I'm a site owner and I actually post things on Craigslist. They have to be local because I do want to groom this person to be a coordinator at the site. And in the past I did this a lot. I posted on Craigslist, biz dev specialist needed, commission only. That would actually pay them when I got the study. Role could lead to a full-time study coordinator position. I mean, I went out of my way to post these things as a site owner, so I know other site owners are thinking the same thing, or maybe they haven't thought of it yet, but when you approach them, they're like, hey, what am I doing? Like, how am I doing biz dev? Hello, Luisa, how's it going? Oh, guys, we got Shafak. Shafak joined us.
Hi, Dan. Thank you for taking me.
Shafak, how's it going? I
Pretty.
love your story. So right on cue, unscripted. You just tried this. Can you explain? And maybe we'll do like a separate podcast, me and you, at a later date. Just
Definitely.
send me an email. But first of all, thank you for being so involved on the YouTube, on the LinkedIn, on the Clubhouse. It's always nice to see your comments
You're welcome.
and to hear from you. So, and by the way, congratulations. So tell me what happened.
So, well, just a heads up, I'll have kids at the background soon. So,
That's
I'll
okay. I
be
have a
just, it'll
bird
be
in the
just a quick
background.
one. All right, that's great. So, I did approached a local site here in Texas, and I noticed that they didn't have a LinkedIn, and their website is pretty down. I mean, there's nothing much in there, and they don't have an Instagram. And I've been listening to you, and I was like, okay, you know what? Just let's go ahead and approach them. And all I said was, I've actually, what happened first was that I subscribed to their mailing list
Hmm.
on their website, and that's how they approached me, and they thought that I'm a potential participant for their study. And I was
Ah.
like, no, I'm not. I'm just, I'm a clinical research professional, and I'm trying to see, if I can volunteer with you. I have my weekends available, and that's all I have. So he's like, oh, yeah, how about you share your CV? And I mean, I'll be happy to, have a phone call. And the next day we had a phone call, and he was like, okay, it sounds great, but yeah, I wouldn't like, somebody interning me for free, or, volunteering for free. So eventually, if I like it, I'll be hiring you because I've been looking for a, part-time coordinator for my site. So I was like, okay, but I'm not available during the weekdays. So I'm here for weekends, and I understand the sites are not really functional during the weekends. So I didn't accept that. We didn't pursue further, but that's something to keep in mind that it did work. And I was like, I'm so thankful for you to you that if kind of like unknowingly you're pushing people, encouraging
Wow.
them, and
Thank you.
that's a
It's
lot.
always nice to see people like take the initiative on the advice. Look, guys, everybody watching, put the hearts right now. If you're listening, it likes, thumbs up right now. Subscribe if you haven't. Okay, there's two kind of people out there. There's people that watch and listen, and there's people that watch and listen and do when it seems appropriate for them. And this is exactly what Shafak has done, and she's proof that it has worked. So you haven't accepted that position yet. Is that what you're
Mm,
saying?
yes, because I'm not available weekdays. It's just
I
that
see. I
I'm just
see.
not ready for that yet. But
But
I'm
if you
not.
were, you would, right? And it
Oh
would be a
yes,
good.
definitely. Because yes, why not?
Wow. Very happy to hear this, Shafak. And see, I'm telling you guys, people are saying what an amazing idea and congrats. And I'm saying, yeah, I know. It's amazing, guys, because you know what's amazing is reality. Reality is more amazing than fiction. And this is what sites need. Sites need this kind of stuff. So thank you very much, Shafak, for coming on. I appreciate it. I know I'll see you on Clubhouse, and I know your kids are gonna join you. So feel free to
Definitely.
hang up. But this was great. Thank you so much for commenting this.
Thank you, Dan. Have a good evening.
You too.
Bye bye.
So there you have it, guys. All right. You see, uh, don't want to listen to me? Fine. Listen to other people from Guru Nation who are telling you that they're implementing this stuff. I started at a standalone site and gained the best experience there, even when I didn't like the job. And I'm so thankful for it. If I can handle all of that, I can handle anything. Absolutely, Mandy Breyer. That's a great attitude and a mindset to have as well. Uh, Carla says that's gold. Volunteer to do a study searching at a site. It's so time consuming and necessary. I would love that volunteer. I know. I know. And Carla's a site owner. Look, guys, it's not a shortage of site owners out there. It's a shortage of site owners who know who you are. That's the problem. And that's where you gotta bridge that gap. It's not a shortage of site owners. It's not a shortage of job seekers. It's a shortage of those two groups getting connected. And that's where the variable is the job seeker, you go do what you gotta do. And even if you're a site, I mean, I went as far as posting this stuff on Craigslist to get people, and I got good people doing it. Um, but I know now with LinkedIn, this was pre-LinkedIn, pre-LinkedIn. Um, Attitude, permanent, experience, temporary. That's right, exactly right. And plus, this quote was a lack of experience is temporary, but it actually applies to any experience because things change. What's the only constant in life is that things change. So your job as a coordinator is going to evolve. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when clinical research shifted from paper CRFs to EDC. I was in the industry for like a year before EDC became like 100% of the time. But I remember in that first year I was doing research of paper CRFs. I was a coordinator. Monitor would come complain to me like, "Hey, can you believe they're switching our jobs to EDC and I'm done with this. I refuse to learn how to do it." So their experience, they were experienced CRA, became irrelevant with technology. And that's going to happen with eSource too. You have to adapt. So and it takes the right attitude to keep your experience relevant too. So attitude's always going to be more important than experience all day long. I will take that all day long. Overhead, no revenue, people got laid off. Yeah, we are behind on these comments. Let's go. Shafak. She's getting, look, oh, everybody, congrats. Um, yes, Dan, you're amazing. Thank you. When I speak to my sites and new CRCs, I'm like an in-house CRA. I tell them to watch you to learn so much about clinical research. Thank you so much. And the sites too. The site owners need to pay attention. The site owners, they need to do biz dev. They need to get their mindsets too. I mean, site owners typically are more entrepreneurial, even though sometimes it's like former CRAs that start sites and then they realize that they came from a world where everything was laid out for them with protocols and SOPs to a world where they've got to do everything. And a lot of people are like panic when they get into an environment that it's no structure, When you're an entrepreneur and you're starting a site, there's no structure. You are the structure. You got to create the structure. And no one's telling you what to do. And no, there's no regulations for like most things. Somebody texted me the other day, I'm a new site. Can my PI do the same study at two different sites? The answer is yes and no. Yes, the FDA has nothing against this, but no, most sponsors would not allow this. So this is how you learn. Like there is no rules. You have to convince, you have to influence, you have to persuade. Well, when the sponsor tells you no, are you just going to say, "Okay, sponsor, sorry for asking?" Or are you going to try to fight back and say, "Well, why not? What's the rationale? Because this is why we have this way. This is why we have this set up this way." That's what it takes to be an entrepreneur. It's thinking creatively, thinking outside the box. It's not just cliches. Um, Kimberly Murphy Cannon, yes, welcome aboard. Um, you guys are gonna do well. You guys are. I really enjoyed Kimberly, our conversation yesterday. Really, really, really enjoyed it. Lady Boss, Frau Sofiane, what's up, guys? I also stayed a short period with a standalone site before I joined Winship. It really works. Also, I feel like I get to Winship to help me that I tracked down the Atlanta Socra chapter and got offered resumes to the member. Yeah, look, all this stuff we spent 26 minutes talking about mindset. We haven't even talked about networking. All right, we just talked about creative strategies to get out there and get your foot in the door. And if you're a research site, you got to be thinking also because it's all about the people. Or if you're a research company, it's all about the people. We talked to several sponsors through Latinos in Clinical Research, like big CROs, big pharma, about diversity. They want more diversity in the workforce. Well, it boils down to, just like I said, rubber meets the road. You want, well, what are you going to do? How are you going to get that? That's nice to want this, but what are you doing? You want to use Latinos in clinical research as a vehicle because we're happy to do that for a sponsorship. We're making inroads with community colleges. We're trying to make inroads with high schools in communities with minorities so that we can get more minorities in the workforce so that it can then trickle out into the community, grassroots. Like we need actual details. We can't just talk about ideals. This is what we want. What are you going to do? How are you going to do? That's the variable is your action. It's not your desire. Everybody shares similar desires. They want to be happy and successful. For the most part, that's like 99% of people's outcome that they want. Well, what's the variable? What are you going to do? You have to have this, you have to have a plan, you have to have some discipline, you have to stay the course, you have to know when to pivot. There's a lot. Creative. So, I'm going to do another live stream Friday, and we're going to talk more probably about sites. But thank you guys very much for your comments, questions. Thank you, Instagram, as well, for sticking through. And catch you guys later. Let me know how everything's going on social media, and I'd love to hear from you all soon. Bye bye.